Okay, this is a short first impression review of the Cannondale CAAD 12 105 version. So everything here is stock except for the wheels, which I've changed from Axiom to Mavic Cerium wheels. The bike came in at 18 pounds with the Mavic Axiom wheels, and with the wheel set swap to the Cerium Elite, I find it to be at around 17.6, 17.8 pounds. I've installed some carbon bottle holders. Both are Cannondale brand. The components, of course, is 105 shifter, a new Cannondale SI crankset. The rear derailleur is supposed to be 105, but I guess I swapped this also for an Ultegra, because I decided to use a medium cage for all my biking needs. Front derailleur is also 105. Now I'm gonna start with stating the pros and cons, and I'll let out the negatives first. And most of the negatives of this bike is basically due to the inherent nature of the frame, which is aluminum. Make no mistake about the fact that this is quite a wonderful aluminum set, aluminum frame set, and the only thing that would perhaps make this an otherwise perfect, I would say, road bike is due to the fact that aluminum in itself has a tendency to vibrate and transmit road buzz in a quite significant manner. And though Cannondale has made grounds and improvements to the frame set itself, there is still no denying that the road buzz is still present, and I experienced it today doing a 100-mile ride at Lake Mary, the Champions Ride at Lake Mary. Nonetheless, on rather smooth surfaces, the carbon fork, as well as the seat post, which is significantly thinner than the previous model. I think it comes as a 25 something as opposed to the 27.2 from the old model. On smooth surfaces, the bike actually handled smoothly, almost like butter. But when the road starts to become rough, then you start feeling it all throughout your body. Most of the people would not really like that experience. I, for myself, I'm not too crazy about it, but the fact that I could feel the road and know exactly what type of surfaces I'm riding on, I feel is something that is so visceral. Gives me a good connection to the whole biking experience. So yes, negative definitely is that due to its aluminum nature, road buzz is quite present. Next one is the saddle. The saddle is not as comfortable, and being a stock saddle, I'm not really expecting much from it. Nonetheless, it made me survive 100 miles of grueling ride um, amidst the rain. But when your chamois is wet and you're riding on a hard saddle like this, it's just a matter of time when your rear end starts to cry foul. And I would go to the last negative. And that just gives me about 3 points here, which is the brake. Brake set is Tektro, and I guess Cannondale has cut some corners here. Instead of delivering a full 105 group set, I guess to cut costs down, they went in the way of using Tektro brake calipers. I mean, it does the job, but not as steady or as efficient as even a 105, I would imagine, or an Ultegra brake set, which what I have in one of my road bikes. But other than that, I would have to say and point out that the road bike, and its geometry, which is rather quite aggressive, was surprisingly very comfortable. It was surprisingly very comfortable for a 100-mile ride, and riding it for the first time without any bike fit. I wasn't expecting to feel great at the end of the ride, but then lo and behold, I actually felt fresh at the end of the ride. So geometry wise, I was very, very surprised. I actually felt comfortable. The next one, the second positive about this Cannondale is the stiffness. The stiffness and the lightness of this bike is remarkable and astonishingly efficient in climbs and off the saddle efforts. I mean, if you have gaps of 20 feet, 30 feet, you just put in some torque into this wonderful crankset, by the way, and the power you deliver goes through the frame and the bike just delivers. The third highlight is the sharp handling. I mean, on a rainy day with wet surface, puddles of water on the road, leaves, sticks, I was able to evade these road hazards, make sharp turns on curvy roads with so much confidence that I felt like I was on a Tour de France, I would say trance. I haven't been to the Tour de France, but I was feeling like I was in one of those events. That's how this bike can transform the whole biking experience into an out of this world experience just by being on it. It's the whole feeling is so visceral, it's so organic that you could feel the road. If you turn the handlebars one way, it follows you almost instinctively. All right, go to the last highlight, which is related to the stiffness also, is the lightweight. Again, this is a 105 bike and it's 17 point something pounds. All right, with rather, I would say, stock parts, and the lightweight nature is just translates to efficiency on the climbs, ease on the climbs, your ability to attack on the climbs, your ability to slow down, change pace. It's just amazing. I highly recommend the Cannondale CAAD 12. I also recommend the CAAD 10 after after test driving them so many times in Orange Cycle here in Florida, in Orlando, Florida. But this one is a different animal altogether, the Cannondale CAAD 12.